Well, if you look at the budget, it's a very short-term budget. Small changes, not really confronting big long-term issues. So superannuation is going to get more and more expensive as more and more Kiwis retire. There's a very, very short-term budget, not a lot of long-term focus. Big problems in the future, such as superannuation, the cost of housing, they haven't really been addressed. So younger people are going to pay more and more tax as older people retire, and older people are living longer, and there are more people retiring now. So those costs haven't been dealt with. There could be small adjustments, like people getting the pension 1 or 2 years older, that would save money for younger taxpayers, but nothing like that. And the housing market, very, very high prices. Cannot get higher forever, but nothing about that either, or nothing substantial. Well, it's very, very difficult. Of course, we'd all like to give poorer people more money, but there's two questions. First of all, what about the people who are paying taxes to support that? What about all the people who have waited and delayed, had children later in life, so that they could afford to give their children all the things they want, and then they get taxed more to give money to other people? So what about those people? And second of all, you can never just give people more money to make them richer or happier. You need to have the right incentives, and what the government's done has said, yes, you will get more money, but you have to meet more obligations, such as looking for work and so on. And it's the first time in such a long time that there's been an increase. So, 43 years, yes, so that was a positive. I think that if you're going to if the answer is for the government to give everybody money, where is the incentive for people to make good choices themselves? If you make good choices, the government takes your money off you. If you make bad choices, the government gives you money. That's a recipe for failure. I'm sure it is unpopular with people, particularly people who travel home a lot. So people will be very annoyed about that. But I'd just turn the question around and say, New Zealand is an isolated country. It's a very beautiful country. It has a unique environment, and it's very, very vulnerable to diseases or foreign species coming along, damaging the environment. So we have to have good security for our environment, and somebody has to pay. So should it be the people who travel and get the benefits of travelling, or should it be taxpayers who stay home and do not travel? And I would argue that whether it's people like me who have always lived in New Zealand but like to travel a lot, I get the benefit, I pay. People who may have come to New Zealand more recently, travel home to see family and friends, you get the benefits of travelling, and you have to pay more. So people will be very angry, but it is fair. Well, I think to visit New Zealand, even if you're coming from Australia, $300, $400, $500 to come here, then hotels, then food, then meals. So you're probably not going to have a holiday in New Zealand for less than $1,000. Most people actually pay far, far more than that if they come from America or Asia. So we're really saying that $22 is going to change that. It will a little bit, but it's not a major factor. I think once people look up the price of their air tickets, they will say, I think $22 is a good price to maintain our beautiful environment. Well, this is why Andrew Little is so unpopular. What he doesn't understand is that tax cuts are not giving people money. tax cuts are letting people keep the money they've already earned. So you can't bribe people with tax cuts. You're just letting them keep their own money. So it can't be a bribe because people have already earned the money. We're just promising to take less off them. And if the Labour Party understood that, they might be more popular. Look, we're only alive for a period of time, and we want to make sure the things that we do are meaningful. And when you have higher and higher and higher taxes, the message you send people is, if you succeed, we will punish you. And that's a depressing message. It's a negative message. Our message is that if you earn money, you should pay your share, and if you earn more money, then you should pay some more tax. But what the Labour Party and others say is that if you earn more money, we won't just charge you more, we'll get you on a higher rate, and then a higher rate, and we'll punish you, and I think that's wrong. Everyone, you should pay more money in proportion to getting more income. It's not enough. It's very positive. People say that there are speculators who have been land banking, sitting on unused land. It turns out the government was the speculator. All along. We found out who's doing it. It's been the government. So they're freeing up 430 hectares in Auckland. But there are 270 million hectares in New Zealand. And you have to wonder why we don't free up more of that land. We need to free up. They think it's good to free up 430 hectares. Why not free up a lot more land? At the edge of Auckland, you are banned from building new houses. If we freed up that land, many more young people could have homes.
So do you think that's the only way for the government to solve the house problem in New Zealand right now?
Well, I definitely know that nobody will be able to build a house without land. So it's essential to start by getting rid of these rules that ban people from building out in the city. Getting rid of these rules that force everybody to live on top of each other in the centre of the city. People want space. People come to New Zealand for space. And the government, or at least the council, is banning that for now. There are too many laws, and the laws are stopping people from growing the city out and building more homes. If you drive to Wellington, there's an awful lot of land out there, and obviously some of it's too steep and some of it's too remote, but there's a lot of land around the edge of Auckland that we could be expanding and growing upon. The council has to stop strangling the city. John Banks is a very good man. I've known him for a very long time. He's a family friend, actually, and he's been in politics since 1975. So if he's been in politics for 40 years, I don't imagine he'll stop now. I think he would be very good compared to Len Brown. Len Brown has promised 2.5% rate rises and given 9.9% residential rate rise, and I think that's unfair. Many people cannot afford to stay in their homes because the rates are so high. I think also the fact that he's been vindicated by the courts. People love the story of a comeback. I think he's experienced. He's been the mayor twice before. I think he'd do a good job of controlling spending. David Cunliffe? I don't know about David Cunliffe. Is he? I haven't heard that. That's a new rumour. No, I don't know. You'd have to ask David Cunliffe. Not enough housing, too much spending. There's far too much money being rated off people, and most people ask me, where does all the money go? I say, I don't know, ask the council. But they certainly...
Transportation?
Yeah, but they're not solving the problem by building a train that goes around in circles in the centre of the city. Not enough people live close to train stations. And besides, they haven't started that yet. They seem to be spending money on pursuing too many different objectives. When the CEO of the council was asked, why has a software project gone from $70 million to $170 million, more than double the price? He said, well, at least children will be able to book swimming lessons now. How many organisations do you know that are booking people swimming lessons one day and pumping raw sewage the next? They are an organisation that is not focused enough on their proper task. Well, they seem to just have far too many conflicting objectives. I hope that good people will run for the council and actually run to save ratepayers' money and build and get more infrastructure built for more houses, rather than simply trying to turn Auckland into a miniature country. Oh, we're much better than Sydney or Melbourne because we have a better climate, not too hot, not too cold. We have a better harbour, and we have much nicer people. Well, they are bigger, and they do have bigger markets. Those things are true. But the lifestyle in Auckland is a very, very high quality lifestyle, and Australia has major problems with its finances. They're running enormous deficits. I think in the long term New Zealand is looking a lot better. I think we have better policies and less irresponsible spending by our central government. No. If New Zealand didn't have any migrants, do you know how many people there would be?
I think
Zero.
Zero?
Everybody in New Zealand.
From European.
Yep, or Maori.
Yep,
or European.
Yeah.
Or Polynesian, or Asian. You know, all migrants. So there's never be too many migrants.
But as we know, just like Winston Peters, he always said we must accept more refugees rather than migrants.
Oh yeah, but you know, I mean, look, we accept 750 refugees and about 40,000 migrants. So it's like everything else Winston Peters says. It sounds good, but it doesn't actually add up. You know. If you look at it, you know, it's actually already quite difficult to immigrate to New Zealand. Many people come to my electorate office with problems with immigration. You know, it's already quite challenging. You already have to have skills. Or bring money and show that you're employable. It's quite hard to do. And one of the biggest groups of migrants at the moment is actually New Zealand-born people coming home. So, you know, we can't stop them. And why would we stop the other skilled people? If you go to a hospital or an A&E, what you'll find is that, in my experience, half the people working there are skilled workers from overseas. We need these people. And as our population ages, we're actually going to need a lot more people. So migration is a very positive thing for New Zealand. And I think that while we have some difficulties, on balance, we actually have a very positive attitude and environment. Can always get better. But you know, we're a nation of immigrants. 1,000 years ago, there were no people here and no jobs. And now we have 4.5 million people and lots of jobs. So you ask yourself, how did that happen? Well, as soon as the first person gets here and they work and they make something, they want to sell it. And they sell it to someone else who wants to work and make something and sell it. And then someone else comes along and they want to work and they earn money and they want to buy something. And someone else comes and they work and they earn money and they want to buy something. And so the more people that come, the bigger the economy gets. There's no such thing as a limited amount of jobs and money. We can all produce much more.